ladies and gentlemen, to the latest, greatest, final episode of Game Rivals. I'm one of your hosts, Maximilian X, and as always with me is the man with the final plan, the man who always comes in clutch, Sean Templar. How's it going, Sean?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, I'm very good. It is the final episode of Game Rivals
Of this
of the
season,
year,
yeah.
of the season. I wanted to hang it just a little
uh,
bit longer.
you make it sound like we're gonna quit. Everyone like, what?
No, not yet, man. Not yet. We have been doing this for 3 years, going on 4.
Yeah,
That's very exciting. That's
it's
very
crazy
exciting.
how fast time passes.
Yeah, it is. Like this year has gone by almost like a blur.
No,
I
I
mean, we
just,
were talking about it beforehand, but
yeah. I mean, like, I don't feel like anything exciting happened this year, but there's stuff that probably did happen. But I did not have like a, oh my god, moment this year. It's like, eh.
yeah, I mean, there was a lot of the stuff that happened. Unfortunately, not a lot of it was great.
Yeah,
Um, we will touch upon some of these in this episode as well, but we will have a proper year in review when the next season kicks off, which would be in the new year, of course, as always. So we're just going to talk a little bit about our experience this year in gaming, how we've experienced this past year. We're also going to talk a little bit about the Game Awards because that was the last thing that happened before the previous episode went live. And actually, should we just jump into that first? Because yeah, the Game Awards this year was weird.
it was very strange.
It was like it wasn't. I didn't come out of it like because I watched it after the fact. So I watched it when after because like whenever it's live, it starts at like 2 a.m. like local Dutch time, and none of us is staying up for that. That's just insane.
And it's like a 3-hour show.
Exactly. That's actually it's a 3 hour show including the pre-show.
Yep.
So we're like, no, 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 no. We ain't gonna do that. That's
No.
too long. So I watched it afterwards. Like the morning after. I don't know. Did you watch it in full or did you watch it in pieces?
I
Because I know some
just
people would watch it
skimmed
in
through
pieces.
it.
Okay. So I watched it in full from basically from the pre-show to the beginning all the way through. And there were some interesting surprises in there. Nothing that I did not expect. I think I, the talk of one of the talk of the towns is, of course, the whole controversy with Activision Blizzard and Jeff Keighley and him first not really taking a neutral stance, and then afterwards being like, no, we really condemn this stuff, and he does like he takes some very stern words at the beginning of the Game Awards, and then he shows a trailer from Quantic Dream,
Yes.
who has also been under the microscope for not having the best work practices. Like recently, it's been coming out. So it's kind of weird that you're like condemning this kind of practice and then showing off a project of a company that has just recently also been under that microscope. And it's like, here's the thing though. I did not know about the Quantic Dream thing until afterwards. I checked Twitter and Twitter was like, yo, that was great, but that was a tone deaf delivery of the like in order. Like I think if they showed that trailer afterwards or like in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
I think people wouldn't have associated with it as much. They probably would have still brought it up, but I don't think people would be like, oh, like the Game Awards is being tone deaf or Jeff Keighley being tone deaf. But having it be like that right away, jumping into that trailer, which is kind of unfortunate because honestly, the trailer looked awesome, and it was a trailer for a rumored Star Wars game that was rumored that Quantic Dream was working on,
Yep.
and now we have a confirmation of that.
Yep. It's in early
It's
development, so it's gonna take a while, but
it's called Star Wars Eclipse.
yep.
Um, and they did have like a very like eclipse motif throughout the whole trailer,
Yeah.
and looked pretty interesting and looked pretty interesting. I think would be the best way to say it. I don't know what to say. I want to say cool, but what all we saw was a CG trailer. So what's cool about a CG trailer?
Yeah,
At most, it can be interesting. But yeah, that kind of soured the experience after I found out about that. It's like, oh, okay, maybe that was not the best way to, put a point on your very poignant expression of how we condemn, like uh, sexual harassment and you know inequality in the gaming in the gaming industry.
yeah,
So, well, that was a fantastic way to start off the whole thing. Um, Now, like this year more than ever, you know how they in like recent years of the Game Awards, they've been doing this thing where in the pre-show they'll give away like I don't want to I don't want to make it sound cheap, but lesser awards.
yeah,
So normally they mention off like the nominees, right?
yeah,
And during the pre-show and during the main event, whenever these lesser awards were given out, they didn't say the nominees. They just showed the nominees. There was an awkward silence, and then they say who won.
yeah,
That was super weird.
yeah. That's weird.
That felt really awkward and cringy.
In a way, it's disrespectful because you're not mentioning. You're just like, these are the guys that are nominated.
For one, and also not everybody has the ability to read or see. So just being awkward silence for people that can only hear doesn't really help because then they're
Yeah,
like, well, who were the other nominees? Maybe they didn't go to the website to check out who the nominees were. They're just checking it out as they're doing it.
yeah,
So that's also kind of disrespectful in a way to differently abled people. So that was super weird. But the weird thing is that they continued that trend into the main show. So
yep.
why do that? Why have that awkward moment of just pause?
I don't know.
I think they thought it would speed up the process, but then just show the nominees and say who won. Don't have that weird awkward pause.
You'd have to
But that's
ask Jeff Keighley why they did it that way.
yeah. I don't know. I don't think Jeff Keeler would actually answer me if I asked it on Twitter.
You never know.
Um, I mean, yeah. What am I gonna say? Hey, Dorito Pope, why did you do it like this?
I think that's a great start, Dorito Pope. It's a unique
Uh,
opening.
Not as much since it's a meme. I don't know if that would
Yeah.
be a unique opening.
I have to say, from the whole Game Awards, besides some of the awards and the categories, it felt really off because like a lot of games were a lot of same games in categories were nominated, but like none of them won in the categories that you would expect them to win. It was so weird. And then, for example, like Ratchet and Clank was nominated. It didn't win in any category, I think. It just got nominated for a lot. And Psychonauts as well. I think that got nominated in like a lot of categories and didn't win anything as well. Deathloop got nominated in a lot of categories and only won one, I think.
No,
As
it won two.
Oh, it won too. So like, I mean, I've never played Psychonauts, but it's a Tim Schafer game, so I would expect that game. Like for example, with Metroid Dread, it was nominated, and I already knew it was gonna win in that category. But I haven't played Metroid Dread. But as an outsider, I would say like that's the idea I got. It's like, yeah, but it only got the award because it's Metroid Dread. Because the other games in the category are great games as well. So why does Metroid Dread get it and not the other games? Because I think Deathloop was also in the same category, and I'm like, but Deathloop is a unique IP, so why? And it does something completely different. So why doesn't Deathloop get it? You know? So like
I think.
in some
Oh,
categories,
sorry.
I really
Continue.
felt like it's the weight of the name that carries the award, that causes the award to go to them. Because like if you can't tell me that if Deathloop is a game that gets tens from multiple websites and it comes out of the blue, it's this underdog. Because let's be honest, I think nobody expected that game to get tens. I When I saw it, I was like, yeah, it's probably an 8, and I'll buy it when it's in sale. And then when I saw it got a couple of tens, I was like, whoa, okay, this game has to be really good. And I just bought it at an impulse. Still haven't played a lot of it, but that's a different story.
Mm.
But like, in that case, I would expect that game to win in more categories because it's something unique, it's something new, it breaks the traditional mold, and then it eventually ends up with 2 awards, and I'm like, really?
Well, actually, there is a bit of an answer for that. Um, so Alana Pierce made a video about like this particular topic, like the Game
Yeah.
Awards and like award shows in general, because in the past she's been, like a judge for multiple things, including like where she used to work at IGN. And she said that I think IGN or another publication recently had a poll on like specifically Game of the Year like nominees and like what people have played.
Hmm.
So they took a poll of people and like what they have actually played, and what you see is that all these like very well regarded, like very well reviewed games, Psychonauts, Deathloop, stuff like that, they consistently got low percentage of people that have actually played it.
Yeah.
And what you see is that the ones that they have people that have most played, would most vote for, were games that were popular, that were in the like like people talked about a lot. I'm not saying that not a lot of people talked about Deathloop, but a lot less people played Deathloop than that talked about Deathloop.
Yeah.
And that also has an impact on how people vote, because some people will vote either for what's popular or for what they've played. And what you'll see is that most people will vote for what's popular instead of what they've played.
Yeah.
And that's how stuff like that happens. That's how stuff like It Takes Two wins Family Game of the Year without it actually being a family game. And I'm still wondering why in the Sam Hill It Takes Two got nominated as a family game.
Yeah, but it also got Game of the Year, and I'm like, I didn't expect it to. I think everybody was surprised it got Game of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, I was legit surprised
I
because
was
mostly
surprised as
I
well.
because I honestly did not know what would win from all of those. Just in general, I've had like absolutely no idea what to think, because I didn't think it was gonna obviously not gonna go to Dread. I didn't think it was gonna go to Psychonauts for the same reason that I didn't that I'm I that we talked about. Like a lot of people have heard of Psychonauts,
Yeah.
not a lot of people have played it.
Yeah.
So the reason why I think that it won is because It Takes Two got a lot of play on Twitch, for example. Like if you go on Twitch, you see a lot of people doing It Takes Two, and it is a very good concept.
Yeah.
Like the co-op aspect of it, plus the story itself. Like the characters are really good. I've watched, I think at this point, like two or three different people play It Takes Two. Well, two or three different people, but most like two, four, six people, because you have to play it in twos. Um, and I've seen multiple people playing it, and I get the appeal, right? And I want to play it because it looks very interesting. It looks like fun to play, depending on who you're going to be playing it with. It's kind of like when Portal 2 came out. But that means that every like till this day, people are still talking about it. I don't hear anybody talking about Deathloop.
Me neither. But that's why, like I
Let's
said,
be real.
I think in a previous episode or the episode before that, I wonder if Deathloop actually sold as well. Um, because I think you said, like, yeah, the Xbox audience is just waiting for the game to come to Game Pass and then it will really take off. But, like, that, in a way, that's doing the game, is not getting the attention it deserves because it's
Well, not
apparently,
even that it's coming to Game Pass, that it's coming to Xbox at all, because it's
yeah.
still a PlayStation exclusive for like another 6 or 7 months.
Yeah, so like you would expect if a PlayStation exclusive that scores these high grades is this such of a good game would be like really popular. But I don't know anyone that in my friends or people I know that like maybe like I know like maybe 2 people or maybe 3 people that played the game and that's because they got it from the publisher. But
Hmm.
otherwise, I don't know anyone that when they that told me, "Hey, I bought Deathloop and it's really cool." It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
which is weird because it's a super good game, you know. And like based on this, you could almost expect that next year's game of the year will be either God of War, will be either Horizon Forbidden West, or will either
Hmm.
be Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, because those three are super popular games. And seeing
Assuming
as,
it comes out in 2022.
well, I cannot imagine those games not coming out next
Oh
year.
no, no, no! I mean, like those two games, definitely. I'm talking about the Breath of the Wild sequel. I don't
Oh,
think
but
it's
I
gonna.
cannot. Breath of the Wild's coming out next year. Definitely. But like, anyways, like if we're taking the same logic about popular games get the most votes and are not and automatically make them contenders, even though they may not be the best games. Because I mean, like
Mhm.
Last of Us Two got Game of the Year last year, and there's a huge divide on if that is a great game or not. But it probably got Game of the Year because a lot of people were like, "Let me play this because I want to know what the whole issue is about or what the whole controversy is about." And that's kind of maybe how we got Game of the Year, regardless of it being a great game, because it's a really good game with some disputable, discussable stuff. Um, but like, you know, so then you already know, like next year is either going to be God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, or Breath of the Wild,
Yeah.
because
I
you know it's the most logical thing to do. It's the most so even if we get, like, for example, there was a game called Arc Raiders. I think it's made by the new studio from Patrick Sutherland. It
Mhm.
looked like this really cool open world proper Anthem kind of game. It really got me excited. So like, I don't think it's coming out next year, but say like that game comes out next year and it
Mm.
blows everybody away and it does something completely new and it's radically and innovative and the whole shebang. Well, if it's not as popular as the other three games I mentioned, then like a game like that will never get Game of the Year, even though it might actually deserve to be Game of the Year.
You forgot one.
Which one?
Halo did not get nominated this year, so it's eligible for next year.
Oh yeah, but I don't know if it's. I don't know if it will win anything big because it's been a year already by that time.
Yeah, but by that logic, Cyberpunk should not have gotten nominated this year. It still got nominated,
Yeah, but like it
despite
won
all
in
the.
category.
It did it. I don't think
It,
it did. It win.
I think it got no, it didn't win, but it got a nominee. I think in one category because
Oh yeah, it did get on a nominated in one category.
yeah, but only
But
in one
despite that
category.
fact, it still got nominated because I didn't expect it to get nominated at all after the backlash.
Yeah, but I wonder, would Halo get nominated in the Game of the Year category?
Definitely, yes, yeah,
I don't know.
because it's Halo.
Yeah, yeah, I know,
Because
but like it's been a
don't forget,
year.
like all these outlets have to they get free reign in what they essentially nominate.
Yeah,
So you know that when it comes to nominations, they're gonna put it at the top of their list. They're making a mental note. They're putting it in their calendar. Don't forget to nominate Halo for next Game Awards. I'm pretty sure they're already doing that. I'm not even
yeah,
joking.
yeah, probably.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, there's a cutoff date, and I think it's just around the corner when I think it's just after Halo came out. Oh, it's before Halo came out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but also remember, Halo's co-op is coming out in March,
May.
so that's gonna give it May. May?
Yeah, from what I heard, it's coming out in May.
Okay, it's coming out sometime next year.
Yeah,
It's gonna reignite that conversation again
probably. Yeah.
because people are going to replay that game again with their friends on Legendary mode because
Yep.
that's what people do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be in. People are gonna be talking about it for quite a while, and the multiplayer is free to play,
Yep.
so that's gonna keep it in conversation. And the fact that they're still trying to fix the battle pass keeps it in the conversation for at least the next couple of months. I mean, if unless they don't make big changes, if they're just making small changes, it might dwindle. But um I don't think that it's not gonna. I don't think the conversation about Halo in general is going to disappear over the next 6 months at least,
Yeah.
if that at all.
Probably.
And yeah, I mean, yeah. Other than that, like the thing that people watch it, of course, is for the world premieres. And boy, did we see some world premieres.
Yeah.
Were they memorable? Some were.
I like the Arc Raiders one.
Mm-hmm. That one was a good one.
Yeah, I really had to laugh about how goofy Keanu Reeves is with his hands and his way he speaks. But
Did
he's
you?
like that in general because I saw him on the late night show and he did that there as well. So I think that's like his
That's just how he is.
he's just awkward, you know.
Oh, side note, did you see him like completely like diss NFTs in this interview that he did?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh man, I love this man. This guy is awesome.
yeah. I haven't played
Uh,
the Matrix Experience thingy yet, but I heard it's really cool.
oh my goodness, you. Here's the thing, right? I know you, and I know there are other bunch of peoples that have like next gen consoles. I'm the only one I think in our like circle of friends and acquaintances that does not own a next gen console like by choice. And like that experience, I really want to like try it, and I have no one to turn to.
You have your best friend.
Man, I haven't been to his place in like I think over a year.
Well, now seeing as the Netherlands is in lockdown for the next 3 weeks,
Oh, that is so bad.
ample time to do it. You can finally
Mm.
experience one of these babies. Oh, you can't see it because I'm at background, but you can see see you
Yeah,
can
I
see
see
like
it.
you can finally
Yeah,
try hold one
yeah,
of these babies, you know,
yeah.
and
I have to
feel how
figure
it
that
is
out.
properly. And
Yeah,
yeah, like I mean, I still have to say, after a year of next gen consoles, I still tell people that don't have one but really want one. I'm being honest, and I'm like, you're not missing out.
no.
Is not that there are so many. Like if Horizon Forbidden West came out this year, I might say, yeah, you're missing out. But there aren't any games out there yet that like scream. You need to have a PS5 now. Sell your kidney and buy one because you need one right now.
I
It's
mean,
like
Sony doesn't even have an exclusive this year
yeah.
for the
And I
holidays.
mean, like for the Xbox, I would say it's Halo at the moment, and
Yeah,
maybe Forza Horizon 5. But those are only games that came out in the last month. So, like, until last month, it also wasn't a really big deal to not have an Xbox Series X
hmm,
because, you know, there's nothing out. And even though, like, we got some games like Ratchet and Clank, I still haven't bought it. We got Kina, still haven't bought it. Um, you
I
know,
really want to get Kina.
yeah, me too. But it's like maybe it's because I haven't bought Ratchet because it's $80, and funnily enough, I have been playing most of my games this year have been PS4 games, just working on my backlog and finishing those games. And I've actually only bought like a handful of PS5 games this year, and maybe
Yeah,
pricing plays a part because you think twice before dropping $80 on a game. But in a way, I'd say like I'm actually in a way it's good because that way on the PS4 I would just randomly buy games, and some I've never even played. It's just like this impulse buying, and now I just actually finish the games and then I just buy a new one or I go back to an old game and
and
then
finish
play
that
yeah
instead.
finish that instead of just constantly impulse buying new stuff and then forgetting about games or never getting to games. So in a way it's good for my wallet and it's also good for actually finishing games instead of only buying the only finishing the big games and then leaving the lesser known games.
Yeah, yeah,
um
yeah.
so yeah, but I'm honest. If you don't have a PS5, it's okay. Like try to get one before Horizon comes out.
Mhm. Even that technically you don't have to do because it's coming out to PS4, and you get a free upgrade to the PS5 version anyways after the fact. So
Yeah, but like you still want to experience that game in its fullest glory.
I'm pretty sure I'll be able to experience it in its fullest glory on the PlayStation 4.
No,
So
no, no,
all
no, no,
good.
no, no. This is the way. The PS5 is the way.
Yeah, good luck finding one though.
Well, I
Oh,
mean, the drops are becoming more frequent, but I hope finally next year will be the year that people can just walk into a store and buy one.
no.
No, I don't think so either.
We can all dream about it, but
Yeah, yeah.
no. Is there anything else we want to talk about the Game Awards before we talk about like our how we experienced this year in terms of gaming, or do we want to put that in like what we've been playing in general?
No,
Because
I'm
I
just
because
thinking.
there's nothing because I was like outside of that.
Yeah, there
The
was a
only
new
thing,
Elden Ring trailer, but it's Elden Ring, and
mhm.
there was a
And
new.
there was a play test.
Yeah, yeah, and
Did you get invited?
no, I didn't sign up because it's not my kind of
Ah,
game.
all right, yeah.
Yeah, and there was a new Saints Row trailer, and it looked more goofy compared to the other one.
Then yeah, that
The
was
first,
actually,
yeah, the first one was really serious, and this one was really like old school Saints Rowy. So
yeah.
um, I'm like, oh, I hope the fans are happy.
I think they did it specifically so they can make the fans happy, and it
Yeah,
got a date. It got a release date
yeah,
because they pushed it back, and I think it's coming out in like what, August.
yeah. It's coming out in August. I think traditionally, like those games came out in August, so it's okay. It's like generally in the middle of the summer.
Hmm.
And what else? Yeah, that's it.
I mean, yeah, there were a bunch of other, but here, see, that's also kind of the problem in it. There were a bunch of like world premieres. There is not a lot that we can remember of those world premieres.
Because there's
Nothing
no,
really
yeah,
stood out.
yeah. It's not.
Oh, the new Senua Hellblade
Oh
trailer.
yeah,
Oh my gosh, that game.
it freaks me out.
Why does it look so good?
I don't know.
That's so weird.
But I
Like
actually
it's
wonder if it
still.
looks that good. Like
Have you like seen the first game? Because the first game looked amazing.
I saw it. I haven't played it, but I saw it. Yeah.
I honestly, I know you're gonna be like, oh, you just want to get it because it's on Switch, but I legit want to get Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice on Switch
Is it on
because they
Switch?
ported, yeah, they ported that sucker on Switch before they got bought by Microsoft, before the sale was
Oh, I didn't
finished.
even know that game was available on Switch. Wow.
And apparently, it looks like really good on Switch. I just haven't gotten like around to picking it up.
Can that run on the Switch?
They got it to run it, and it's not the cloud version. They actually ported it to Switch.
Wow. Okay.
But then again, they also ported Dying Light, the first game at least, and apparently it runs at 30 frames per second, but it runs at a smooth 30 frames per second.
Huh.
Can't really say the same thing about GTA, the definitive edition, now can we?
No.
And that's an older game.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Ah, boy, Bush, that freaking game. What a friggin' year it's been, man.
Yeah, man.
Like GTA got rumored for the longest time, and then comes out and it's like that. There are now new rumors that the Bully 2 project got rebooted and they're working on it.
Yeah, there was a rumor that was going to get announced at the Game Awards, but that like at this last minute they pulled it or
They
something.
pulled it. That's apparently what the rumor is, yeah.
Yeah.
And that it's not like the Bully 2 that they were working on before, but it's a new Bully 2 that they're working on.
Okay.
And it is in a playable state. They just decided not to show it off.
Hmm. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. What else is interesting actually that came out this week? Since we're gonna talk about stuff like that anyways. So outside of that, we also got the confirmation finally from Ubisoft Toronto that they're working on a Splinter Cell remake.
Yeah.
Or remake. They specifically said remake, not remaster.
Yep. And it's
So
not an
they're
open world game, from what I heard.
no. It's one of the older games, so we don't know which one exactly they're working on.
Maybe Chaos
Um,
Theory, because that's one of the most popular ones.
when did that one come out?
And
I think we recently talked about it.
it's a PS2 game.
Oh shoot, really?
Yeah, because they did Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow, and then Chaos Theory. All three of them were on the Xbox and the PS2, and then they
Ooh.
did Double Agent, which was the first one on the PS3.
Hmm. Right, right, right.
Yeah,
Okay, so it could be one of those. So who knows?
yeah.
Um, when did they say that they were aiming for, or did they not give a
They didn't
like
because
a
they were like,
no?
we're hiring for the new Splinter Cell game, and
Oh,
we just
right,
want to
yeah, yeah.
let you know that we're working on it. So probably with the next Ubisoft Forward, we might see something like a tease or something, a CG trailer.
Depending on when they're gonna do a new Ubisoft Forward.
Yeah, I was expecting a trailer for some more Division 2 content because the developer is working on, I think, another expansion pack or something for the Division 2. Um, but that wasn't in the cards.
Yeah. You know
And
what's also not in the cards for Ubisoft?
no.
Friggin' NFTs.
I feel like the last week, like a lot of developers started to jump on that train, and I'm like, no, please don't.
Did you see the most obvious and like the thing that makes you like question NFTs in gaming absolutely completely
No.
is Peter Molyneux's studio is doing an NFT game.
Oh, was it that where you can buy an NPC for yourself in the game?
No, that you could, yeah, you can buy like you can manage a company in the NFT metaverse that is their game called Legacy.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And you can like if you read the description of the whole venture, you can clearly tell that it was not made for gamers. It was made specifically for crypto bros.
Ugh.
And oh man, that is, and you can tell that it is a Peter Molyneux um, project because only Peter Molyneux would go 100% in gaming and NFTs by making a game that is literally that. Ah, good grief! Just if you didn't think that NFTs and gamers was toxic, that's your proof. Honestly, right there.
I'm just waiting for EA, Ubisoft, and Activision to incorporate this into Call of Duty, Battlefield, or FIFA. Definitely, it's coming to FIFA, and
Oh yeah, no joke.
yeah,
Freaking Ultimate Team bullcrap.
yep.
But the funny part about the Ubisoft thing is that so Ubisoft is letting people earn the NFTs and then they can resell it because Ubisoft makes money from every resell on the secondhand market, on the secondhand NFT market. That's how they're planning to make money on it. But the nonsense that you have to go through. So they're doing it in the one game that is pretty much dead, which is
Ghost
Ghost
Recon
Recon
Breakpoint.
Breakpoint.
Yeah.
And one of the ways you could get like one of the items was this hideous mask, like super ugly mask. And you'd have to play the game for 600 plus hours.
Yes.
I don't think people have even spent 100 hours in Breakpoint. And if they did, nowhere near 600.
There's
So I
probably
don't think
one person
anybody
in the
actually
world that
got
has
it.
that.
If there is one person that did that, I'm like, wow, you wasted 600 hours on that game. Man, I
Yeah.
feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
You might as well have spent 600 hours in the Division 2 because at least that game is better.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that they didn't do it for the Division 2, but honestly, I the only reason I think they didn't do it for the Division 2 is because they don't want to destroy the goodwill that particular game has.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because Breakpoint, nobody likes Breakpoint. Nobody cares about Breakpoint. They know it.
I
Ubisoft
actually
knows that
finished
nobody
it this
cares.
year. I liked it, even though it was like,
Really?
yeah, but like, if I were to grade it, I would say like buy it when it's on sale, and I would give it like a 7.
Oh, that's still higher than I would have
Yeah,
expected.
but maybe it's because like I like the tactical kind of games like that, where you can customize your squad and you kind of go into that whole Marine Corps, Special
Mm.
Forces Command, yada yada stuff, and then it's satisfying that when you have like this complex you need to infiltrate, and then you send out your drone and you scout out where all the enemies are, and then you use your squad tactically to take out some people, and then you slowly sneak in, kind of like a Metal Gear style. Yeah, there is some satisfying element to that.
Yeah, I guess. Uh, Too bad the game was broken as crap when it came out.
Yeah, that's why I waited like till this year to play it.
Oh, good grief. But yeah, this year, a lot of people brought this up, and when I think about it, it's like, oh yeah, that was actually kind of true, wasn't it? Like a lot of games came out broken
More
this
so
year,
than
more so
before.
than usual. Yeah, and it's super weird, right? I mean, I didn't have that problem. I play Nintendo games. New Pokemon Snap
Ah,
was not broken when it came out.
you sound so elite now. I play Nintendo games. Those games are never broken. Ah,
Hey,
poor plebs.
at least I'm not a PC master
Yeah,
race,
no,
man.
like poor plebs. You have to wait for your patches to come out. I'll just play Pokemon Snap. I play Nintendo games.
What's with the British accent?
So I associate that with being elite. So
Oh my goodness gracious me.
I play Nintendo games in it.
Mommy, can I get this Nintendo guy?
Yeah.
I've been ever so good. Oh, oh, good grief. Oh, sorry. My apologies. What were we talking about again?
Broken games.
Broken games, yes. Yeah, I mean, uh, what like actually, if we're talking about broken games, games that you've played this year,
Yes.
was any of them part of the broken games list? If you think about it, I mean,
Uh
one I know one of them was, which was Battlefield 2042.
yeah. Yeah, besides that one, I would say maybe Assassin's Creed Valhalla, even though I waited specifically for some patches to come out. But even then, there were like some issues here and there. I had like a couple of missions bug out on me, so I had to either restart the game, and I had that like maybe once or twice with Far Cry, but it wasn't like a constant thing that happened.
Hmm.
Not like Cyberpunk or something, which I
Hmm.
still need to play, but I'll just do it in 2 years or something. Uh,
Apparently, it's in a very playable state at this point. Like the Steam reviews for it now are like very positive.
Okay. Well, I played it after the first. I played it when it came out, and then I didn't like it because it was broken. Then I played it after the first big patch came out, but it was still broken. So then I was like, you know what? I'll just wait for a while because I don't. There's no rush in it.
Hmm.
Yeah, but besides that, no, because either I played PS4 games that already had come out, or I played. Yeah, I mean, like I didn't even buy that many PS5 games this year. I bought Returnal, I bought Valhalla, I bought Deathloop, I bought Death Stranding, the director's cut,
Hmm.
and I bought Battlefield 2042 last week.
Yeah.
And that's it for the PS5 games I own. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I also did not buy a lot of games this year. Like the
yeah.
games that I bought were either on sale and like at the cheapest, I'd buy it for like maybe $3 or €3 or whatever you want to call it. And at the most, I spent on games that were on sale maybe €20. But that was like a game that was full priced, and then like it dropped to 20
Hmm.
euros. It's like okay, that that's
Yeah.
fine. Like in terms of new games, like I said, I already bought like new Pokemon Snap. Um,
You
I
bought
did
Pokemon Diamond or
I
Pearl?
did end up buying Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought Dread, obviously. Um,
Yep.
and I think in terms of like new games, because there were some stuff that came out for the Switch early this year. Um, but I didn't pick it up. Like Bravely Default 2 came out this year. Like nobody's talking about Bravely Default 2. It didn't even get nominated for Game of the Year. That's how little people talked about Bravely Default 2,
Yep.
which is crazy because like something else got nominated for RPG, which is not an RPG, and it's Monster Hunter, which makes
Yeah.
no sense. Monster Hunter is not an RPG. By the way, I did buy Monster Hunter.
Oh yeah.
That was this year. I
Yep.
also played that. I know I played that because when I checked my recap for the Switch games I played that for like 126 hours.
Holy shit.
All of that was, I think, pretty sure in the first month because I haven't touched that game in like months, and that's partly because I don't have anybody else to play it with. I mean, I
Really?
can play with random people. That's not a problem. But I'm almost at the end of like the main game, but the monsters are so tough.
Oh damn.
Like if you don't have like a solid team to work with, you're just gonna wipe out every time. And I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm the best player. I am not the best player. So I tend to get carried. Like no shade on that, man. If you need to be carried in Monster Hunter, that's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with that. It's just you start feeling guilty for the rest of your crewmates, and that's all. But they have added a bunch of. Finally, they're starting to go collabs with other franchises outside of Capcom, and one of the first ones they did was um, with Sonic, and it looks pretty cool, and I kind of want
Oh, I didn't even know
it.
that.
And the next one that's coming is the one that I've been waiting for almost a year, which is the Universal Studios Japan collaboration. They do this with every game, And I feel like the sets that you can get with the Universal Studios Japan collaborations are always the prettiest ones
Mm.
because they're blue and gold.
Oh, that's nice.
They're always like blue and gold. They're like very, very nice and like very cool looking. And it's like, ah, gosh darn it, I've been waiting for this for so long. I'm so happy. I haven't even seen what they look like yet. They just announced that it's coming, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna prep for it, and when it's back in full effect, I'm gonna be playing that. I'm gonna get the outfits, and then I'm gonna like either continue playing or peace out again.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was exciting to hear at the very least. And yeah, I did play a lot of like this was also the first time for me to play a lot of Monster Hunter with other people.
Hmm.
And yes, this also includes my time playing Monster Hunter World. And honestly, I feel that way because they kind of handled online play better in Monster Hunter Rise, in my opinion, than they did in Monster Hunter World. Whereas in World, it's like a pre it's like it's preset that it's always online,
Mm.
whereas with Rise you have to choose to have other people join your quest. So you can say like, oh, I'm opening this quest that I'm going to jump into for the multiplayer so that people can jump in and assist. I think that's way more fun, because that way you can choose when you jump in, and you don't, or even if you're in a mission and it's one that you can play as a multiplayer, it's not part of the single player, it's multiplayer, you can still do basically what you did in Monster Hunter World, which is the SOS flare kind of thing, where you say like, oh, I'm opening this up now for other people to come and assist me.
Mm.
So even mid quest you can still do that, and that's really nice. I really like how they did that. So hopefully they carry that over in the future. But for now, I can look forward to the USJ stuff, and in the summer, the
Expansion
the
pack coming
the
out.
expansion pack Sunbreak,
Yeah.
which is looking really cool. They did show a new trailer of Sunbreak, so
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And outside of that, I didn't. Yeah, like I said, like most of the stuff was like on sale, or stuff that I got through PlayStation Plus. You know,
Yeah.
uh, Godfall. Anyone? Oh, it's not even the full version of Godfall. Oh,
I talked about it last time.
yeah, we talked about it last
Yeah.
time. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my
The
goodness, the
Challengers Edition. Way to how to make a
man,
crappier game even more crappier.
exactly. Actually, it's not even that, because the Challenger Edition takes out a lot of the grind work,
Yeah, but
because
like,
they know the game is absolute crap, so they took out the
yeah,
grind work, so you get to the better stuff quicker, and it's still not the full game.
yeah.
Oh man. Oh, also this year I also got back into Final Fantasy 14,
Oh, nice.
and it is really good.
I've
Like
heard a
for an
lot of people say
MMO,
that.
I played it for a month because I bought like all but the last expansion pack. Like it was on sale for like $20.
Hmm.
So I bought it, and I was like, okay, let me get into it because you get a free 30-day pass. So I played it, and like I played it for like almost the entire month, and I was able to level up quite a lot, but I still haven't finished like the first story, so the Realm Reborn story arc. That And then like I still have like three other expansion packs to go through. So I might pick it up again sometime next year and just continue on, because Endwalker came out like last week or 2 weeks ago, and people are loving it, and it's the last expansion pack.
Oh,
um,
okay.
yeah, so after that, no more new story stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know if Final Fantasy 17 is gonna be an MMO or 18. We don't know because 16 still needs to come out. And we do know that part of the Final Fantasy 14 team is working on Final Fantasy 16. Like a splinter group is working on Final Fantasy 16, and you can tell by the aesthetics
Hmm.
that, oh, and like some of the gameplay stuff that was in the reveal trailer, like, oh, this really looks like it came from Final Fantasy 14's crew, and it was.
I wouldn't know. I don't play the game, so
Well, I am, and I'm saying it. So
thank you.
yeah. Yeah, so in terms of my gaming year, outside of that, I mean, both of us got into streaming.
Yep.
I started early in the year again, um, after not streaming for like I streamed on and off once or twice in between the years, but the last time I seriously streamed on a schedule, in quotes, was back in 2014 ish, 15.
Oh damn.
Back when back when Splatoon was out, and I played a lot of Splatoon on stream. That was a good time. Um, it was also around that time I was also playing a lot of Kerbal on stream. So those were the two games that I played a lot back then, and then I dropped off and started again. And this is like the most I have played a lot. I mean, we were talking about the Twitch recap stuff before we started recording, and like I've like streamed like 126 or something hours this year, which is insane considering that I only stream twice a week and I stream an average of 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy how fast it can go.
Hmm.
I only did the Sundays, and it was like 2 to 4 hours. So
Yeah. So yeah, it's been really crazy. It's been a fun ride so far, and I've really fallen in love with streaming and watching other streamers play, and I've fallen into a few communities, and they've been super awesome. Um, and it's been so fun just to like share the love of gaming that way.
yeah,
Even if it is with a small audience, I honestly don't care as long as people are legit interested.
I wouldn't want to
That's
be
why I
a
do
big
it.
streamer because, like, when I sometimes watch, I never watch big streamers because it's just two. There's only maybe one I watch, and then it's her vods because then I just want to see the game she plays. But
Mhm.
like, I saw there's a YouTube channel I follow, and it's a tech YouTube channel, and then he did like those. I'm gonna donate money to streamers and see what happens. And
Yeah.
then he went to Tim the Tatman and he dropped some serious money, and the dude didn't even respond. And I'm like, really? Are you too how do you say that? Do you feel too good enough to respond to a donation like that
Yeah.
because you're this big shot guy? I don't even like Tim the Tatman. I don't know. Just by
I don't
looking at
even know who that is.
like by even by looking at his face, I'm like, but he's like a really big popular streamer. But
Yeah.
like I'm like, no man, you gotta, even if it's $1, man, you don't know how hard it for some people is. It's to give money away. It's like
Yeah.
I think it happened this year with that. Can't remember her name, with that streamer chick that got caught in a controversy where she said like, if you
Which one? There are a lot of them.
yeah, there was this chick that said like, if you can't spend $5 to subscribe, then you shouldn't be in my
A
stream.
lot of them said that. Be
Oh,
more
okay. Wow.
specific.
I don't know. Hey, I know this one that said that, and she said like, yeah, if you can't spend money on my stream, if you can't have $5 to spend to subscribe, then you have no reason to be in my stream. Then you might as well not be here. And then like a
Mhm.
lot of people jumped on that and said like, how dare you? You have no idea what people are going through, because some people don't have money to spend. They're like poor, or they're homeless, or they can barely make ends meet, and then you say some dumb shit like this. And then she made a video, so like, oh, I'm really sorry I said that, and I was really insensitive, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, you don't mean that. If nobody had said something about it, you wouldn't have made this, you wouldn't have had this realization that what you said was wrong. I'll look up what her name was and I'll send it to you. But like, with stuff like that, I'm like, if people take the time and effort to come to your stream, to spend money on your stream, then you should, even if it's $1, you should be appreciative. Like, I can't imagine that you cannot reply to everyone's message, because
Yeah.
if you have a lot of viewers, your chat's going like crazy. That's why I like small streamers, because that way you actually have a way to connect with the streamer and just talk to them, and it feels like you're playing or watching a game with friends, instead of having hundreds of peoples in your chat going like machine gun fire up and down, and
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, I don't know what to respond to.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
But honestly, like you said, it is true. Like I have, like I say, like I've made a lot of friends this year, which is crazy for me.
yeah.
I like in general don't have a lot of friends to begin with, by
Uh,
choice. It's not because also partially because as you know,
you're
I
just socially
myself,
awkward. It's okay.
Fine, whatever. Yes, I'm socially awkward. I
I'm
mean, but
kidding, man. I'm kidding.
no, but you're right. It's true. I mean, I'm an introvert. Like
That's
I
okay.
don't really come to life in a conversation unless it's about video games because it's something that I can relate
There's a
to.
passion.
Yeah, I mean it is, but it's also, let's be honest, in my case, it is also a crutch for me because I can talk about other stuff, but I wouldn't be as passionate about it or as informed about it as
Mm.
it's if it's not like video games or anime or anything pop culture related.
Hmm.
Yeah, I kind of grind to a halt.
That's
So this
okay.
has really been like
Yeah. It's not like
super fun.
I grab a cigar and some brandy and I sit on my couch. I'm like, oh, let's have a book club, gentlemen, and let's speak of this book here. Oh, it's so dandy. No, it's not like I do that.
Honestly, though, without the book club, I would still see you swirling a brandy and a cigar. I could totally imagine that and be like,
Thank you.
yeah, that's on brand for Strawn.
Thank you. Oh, I've never ever smoked a cigarette, like not even like a puff or whatever you call that. But I've
Yeah.
always said like if I ever were to start smoking, I would just switch to cigars instantly because I don't know, I like to smell better or something.
Uh.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So outside of that, this year has been mostly me playing also older games that I have yet to finish.
not a bad thing.
Um. No, I mean definitely not a bad thing. I've actually finished games, so people
That's an
can
achievement on its own.
people can shut up and say that I don't finish games. I finish games, dang it.
Yeah, it just takes a long while.
Yeah, I mean, I even got to finish like Super Metroid right before Metroid Dread came out. So
Yay!
yeah, yeah, I think that's it. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about that you
No,
experienced this year,
no.
because we're gonna go into what we've been playing anyway. So
Yeah.
thank you all. Stick around. We'll be right back with what we've been playing. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second and final segment of this episode of Game Rivals. With always what we've been playing. So, Sean Templar, what have you been playing?
I've surprisingly been playing a lot lately. So first off, I was able to finish FarCry 6. Um, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a really nice game. Um, the ending took me by surprise because something happened that I didn't expect to happen. So I was like,
Hmm.
okay, that's nice. That's a surprise for a change. I don't know how many hours I put into it, but it's like just your basic open world game. I only did the main quests. I didn't feel like doing the side quests. Yeah, it's really cool because basically the game is divided into like a starting area, and then from there you have like three main areas on the island, and then you have to do missions in those areas because you need to win over the guerrilla faction of that area. And then when you have all three factions, then you can try to overthrow the government and go after Castillo, which makes sense. And then after you finish the game, there's this end game part of it, where the remnants of the Castillo faction take over certain areas, and then you have to do like missions to kick them out of that area. Um, I did it, and then I was like, well, now I have to wait 6 days for the next one to start. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I'll probably just end up removing the game from my PlayStation because it takes up space. And yeah, I mean, it's a fun game. The only gripes I would have with it is that there are so many guns in the games, but eventually, if you get certain weapons, you're not encouraged or there's no incentive to find other weapons and use other weapons because the weapons you have are already pretty strong. So there's not a lot of like incentive to switch around weapons. So I basically had like the same weapons for a large part of the game because it just worked. Sometimes I would just mix it up because I was bored. I'd suddenly use uh, a bow and arrow or like a shotgun, but it was not like I was forced to do it. It was more like, oh yeah, I feel like I have to do this. And yeah, that's basically it. I played. Um, I played Formula One 2021 because I bought it on PC during Black Friday. I'm playing it with an Xbox One controller for now, even though I have a steering wheel. I just don't. I just want to play the game. I just don't feel like learning how to use the steering wheel. So for now,
You're lazy.
I'm lazy. Yes, I'm using the controller. I didn't do my team because I did my team in 2020. So in this season, I just started the normal career mode where you pick one of the existing teams. I picked Ferrari because that's my team, and then you just create your own character and you try to win the drivers' championship and the constructor. You immediately notice a difference because in my team you basically have no resources and nothing. You have to start from scratch, so you really have to build up the car, and that way it does feel more satisfying to win the championship like I did last time in the previous game.
Because you
But
put better effort into it.
yeah, so like I really had to choose the upgrades and I really had to put in the effort to win, and I had to take more risks. Whereas with now with a team like Ferrari in the real world, Ferrari was this year the third team on the grid. After they especially did some upgrades to the car, they really shine through. Um, so you in the game you really notice like you have all sorts of facilities at your disposal, a lot of resources points to put into the car. You're still like third on the grid, but like I won my first race even though I qualified like eighth or something, so I got really lucky. So yeah, and I've even done a shorter season because like normally there's like 22 races, but there's some tracks on it that I really don't like Monaco. So what I've done this time is like you can choose either 16 races or 12 races. So I did 16. I did my favorite tracks in there, some unknown ones I've never driven on, and then I've just been at it. So I'm like in my third race now. They've also improved the way you get resource points because normally it would be like you have to do like I think like eight or like five or eight um, objectives while you're in practice. So like you have to do like track acclimatization as they call it. So you have to go through these gates that are on the track and then you have to chain them together and then you get a certain amount of points. And then if you get X amount of points, you get the green tier, you get 50 resource points. And if you go for purple, then you have to get more points. And then all those resource points you invest in the car. So now they've just grouped them together. So you can just, they're like, we need you to drive 5 laps maximum and try to focus on these areas. So that's makes it a lot more easier, as well as that if there are some ones you can't get, you can have the AI try it for you. And then it just gets deducted from the time you have in a practice session. So it's a lot more accessible. Yeah, so I've been playing that. Then Among Us came out on PS4, and well, it's been like more than a year since I played Among Us. And then my regular group that I play it with, they were like, "Hey man, you want to play Among Us?" And I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, let's try it." I'm like, "Sure." And I bought it on the PS4 or PS5 for like $4, and it actually plays nice on PlayStation. I didn't expect it because I was used to playing it on PC or with a touchscreen. Uh,
Because I know they did it with Switch, so I'm assuming they did the same thing for PlayStation 5. When you like walking through the environment, does
yes,
the dual sense can you feel like the different environments like heat sources and stuff
I
like
don't
that?
know.
Because
To be honest, I don't know. I haven't really focused on it because I was like so tensed up because I'll pay attention next time. It's a good one actually because I remember you telling that like had like HD rumble features in it.
yeah,
Yeah, like the odd
it
thing
has
is
really good HD rumble features. I think one of the few games that does it.
yeah, like the odd thing is that for example when you have to do keycard swipe, it's not through the touchpad. It's like an analog stick move, which is weird
Yeah,
because I was like, why didn't they
Switch
just
does the same thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
why didn't they just map this to the trackpad, the touchpad? But like, they've added so much stuff since the last time I played it. Like, you have roles now, you have shapeshifter and engineer and whatnot, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? So, and they've upped the player count to 15. But so far, we've been playing with like 7, 8 people. But
15 is a bit too chaotic. I've tried
yeah,
a few times, like with our buddy RB Gaming,
mm,
and honestly, it feels a bit too chaotic. Like the size that they have originally is like the perfect
yeah,
size.
yeah. And like, there was this moment in which because if you get the shapeshifter as the imposter, you can basically fool everybody by telling yourself you're another character, and then they think it's that character because you literally morph into that character. So like there was this. So I we usually have different names. So one of my close friends was called Chupapi, because it's like the Chupapi Muñeño. So I was like, oh, then I'll be Muñeño. So like if we stand next to each other, it says Chupapi Muñeño. And then suddenly I walk into cafeteria and there's another Muñeño there. I'm like, huh? And then that person suddenly kills somebody, and there's another person that walks in, and you can literally see them being confused because there's two muñeños. You see the person like walking left to right. They're like, whoa, this person's confused. And then they're like, oh, I need to report this. So they report it, and they're like, it's muñeño. And I'm like, no, it's not me. I didn't do it. And like, yes, I saw you do it. I'm like, no, but there's a shapeshifter. It's like, come on, shapeshifter. There's no shapeshifter in this game. Like, no, there's actually a shapeshifter, you know? So it adds like this whole different dynamic to the game.
I haven't
Uh,
played it in a really long time. I haven't played it since they added the 15-player multiplayer stuff.
yeah, so like they've added a lot of stuff because it was really, really. I had to like, it felt like learning this whole new game, whereas I've put in quite some hours already last year. But it's nice that they did it because you have like the scientist that can check on everybody's vitals. You have an engineer who can also vent, I believe. So it changes the whole dynamic of the game. And yeah, I mean, like because we always play with the same people, I've said it before, like our games are far more emotion based. Whereas, I mean, I think you and I have played with a group, and those are
Yeah.
like scientists. So they're like more like Sherlock Holmeses, and they use the art of deduction.
Deduction.
I'm like, no, this game is not meant for that serious brandy cigar. Let us deduce who did it, gentlemen. Oh, I
You're
think I
really going
found the
into this
imposter.
British accent.
Yeah, yeah. Probably next season I'll just only do British accents.
Oh,
So
oh joy.
so like in our games, it's like full of emotion. Like somebody just randomly says something. It's like it's too poppy, and then they're like, why? It's because he is, and then they just throw in all sorts of stuff. Or like in one of our games, there's a friend of mine who plays, and his girlfriend plays along as well. So like eventually he screamed at her. He said like, I swear to God, it's him. If it's not, I'll do the dishes for a week. And I'm like, what is happening? Why are they adding these personal touches into it? I mean, that's not fair because we can't say stuff like that. And
Yeah.
then the next round, the same girl had to pick between me and someone else. And I didn't have anything to say to her. I couldn't say like, I'll do the dishes for a week, you know? So like, you really have to believe me. I swear to God, please just trust in me. I'm really not the imposter, you know? And I was
Oh
the
man.
imposter, but yeah. Um. So, but
J'accuse.
yeah, so I played Among Us, and then I still need to finish Yakuza 3. I haven't played it since I started Far Cry 6. And I've bought Battlefield 2042 because it was on sale after the Game Awards. It was $60 instead of 80, so I was like, fine. You know, and there had been some
Yeah.
updates, and I was in doubt if I should buy it on PC or on PlayStation, and I still have like, maybe I should have played it on PC, but I wanted to be able to experience the game at its fullest, and on PC I can't because it's a really intense game
Intensive.
graphically. So if I had like a 3080, it'd be fine. So that's why I kind of chose the PlayStation version because it's the most optimized version for it. And I did struggle a little bit in the beginning with controls because I don't think the aim assist is like it's they've added it because it wasn't really there, or it feels like it's not completely working. So sometimes it really feels like you're just shooting across the whole place, whereas normally you just have aim assist and then it just helps out.
Mhm.
Um, and then yeah, the funny thing is you're basically getting four Battlefield games. You're getting 2042, and then in Portal you're getting remastered of 1942, of Bad Company 2, and of Battlefield 3, and they all have different gunplay. So it doesn't feel the same. So, because like I was playing with a friend and we went to play Bad Company 2 and we were actually making a lot of kills. And then we switched back to 2042 and then we were barely making kills because the gunplay and the way the game works is so completely
It's so
different.
different. Yeah.
So it's like really frustrating because you're like, but I want to be able to enjoy 2042 because it has this cool setting and these cool guns, and they've also capped the XP in Portal because people kept creating these XP farms with bots, so they could just kill the bots on and on and on, and then level up their weapon. So Dice temporarily has capped the XP on that until they have a permanent fix.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been putting more hours into it, and lately I have been getting better at it. And They've also added 64 player options for Conquest and for Breakthrough, and I've been only playing that because you notice that with the 128 maps, they're so big and there are too many open spaces. So 9 out of 10 times you'll just get sniped on your way to an objective. Whereas now with 64, it's a bit more condensed, so that option, that possibility of sniping is still there, but it's less than what you would have. Um, so yeah, I am enjoying 2042 now. There's still a lot of balancing required because you sometimes people can kill you with an SMG from the range they would kill you with a sniper, and you're like, okay, how did that happen? You know. So there's
Yeah.
like they really need to balance the game properly. But I think that's some of the things they'll start doing next year because it's the holidays and they probably have some time off. But for now, they really did bring out some really good updates. I think they did already 3 or 4 updates since launch, and it's in a better state because I played it from the early access period, and if I compare it to what it is now, it's really, really better. Um, so yeah, I would say like for now, I'm a happy Battlefield 2042 player. There was a free weekend for Call of Duty Vanguard. I played it on the PS5. It's fun, but it's not my kind of game. So they had shipment in it, and it was chaos, and I kept dying, and I didn't make kills. And it in the beginning, I had a little bit like I was overwhelmed because Battlefield's like a slower pace shooter, and this
Yeah.
felt like you're on 10 cans of Red Bull. It's so fast. So I was like, whoa, what's happening? And yeah, eventually, I mean, it's only for the weekend, so. Yeah, that's basically what I have been playing. What have you been playing?
Well, let's get the awkward one out of the way so I can actually talk about the stuff that I actually did play. Played Fortnite again.
What?
Yeah, did you not
Why?
see? There's chapter 3 went out and you can get Spider-Man and use web shooters and swing around.
Oh,
So I
nice.
had to try it out for the web shooters.
Was it any good?
It's surprisingly good. Like it's the only thing that's better is of course Marvel's Spider-Man, but it gets really close. And
Hmm.
for one, it's actually for people that have played both, it's better than the web swinging in Avengers,
Yeah, Avengers is doing a really poor job.
which is really bad.
Yeah. I,
When
I
a
read.
$60 game does it worse than a free to play game
Yeah.
that just has it because Spider-Man No Way Home is like you can now even buy like Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Zendaya's Mary Jane in the game.
Oh, that's nice. I read
Yeah,
that.
that's super weird. With their voices.
Really?
Yeah, like they did the whole trailer thing and everything. Their voices are in there.
Oh, wow. I,
Yeah.
I, I read that with these with this latest update, they've switched to Unreal Engine 5 for Fortnite.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to tell because I'm playing on a Switch.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently
I
they've
I,
switched to Unreal Engine 5 now.
I tried playing it on GeForce Now
Hmm.
because it's way more powerful than playing it on my Mac Mini. Um, I I mean I couldn't really tell the difference.
Okay.
But I think that it's partially because of the game's aesthetic.
Mm.
Because before that they had the RTX update, but I
Hmm.
don't think they made the RTX version available on GeForce Now, which is really weird
I think the
because you can.
PS5 and Xbox version have ray tracing.
Yeah, I think they only
Yeah.
did it for consoles and for
Yeah.
PC, but not for the GeForce Now version.
Yeah.
Maybe now it is available. I haven't checked it out recently. But then again, I also don't have the 3080 subscription to GeForce Now because that's a little bit too much. That's a little
Yeah.
bit too rich for my blood. Um,
You're not
I mean,
that
if I
elite.
no, I mean, I'm not. Well, for one, I'm not that elite. Also, I don't play PC games as much as I do consoles.
Yeah.
So GeForce Now is there because it's convenient and it's relatively cheap for what it is. Plus, I have the founders. I still have access to my founders discount, so it's still like $30 for 6 months. So
Oh, that's nice.
that's
Yeah.
very nice. Um, I mean, if I didn't, maybe I would have been like, okay, fine, I'm gonna take the 3080 one because it's like once a year and that's like
Mm.
$100, and then I have
It's per
basically
6
next
months.
gen gaming. That's for 6 months for the $100.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind then. I would not even touch that then.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it, I am not made of money. Um, and again, I'm not
Nor
playing
was I.
enough. And again, I don't have enough games in my library that are RTX enabled. So why bother?
Mm,
If I had more, I might, but I don't, so it doesn't really matter.
yeah, I can imagine.
Plus, you can just use rudimentary RTX on 1080, and it's fine.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, that it was weird going back to Fortnite.
I'm actually gonna download it to my PlayStation now because I'm actually curious how it is because it looks like a completely different game. It's more it. I think there's a lot more to do than just the old school Fortnite.
Oh, it's completely different now. I mean, you can play it as normal because I always play solo, and you can play it as normal. But they added like a whole bunch of other play styles and like options that you can play with. Um, I don't know. Did they do cross gen? Because I know there's cross console. I don't know if they did cross gen. If there's cross gen, maybe we can like play some Fortnite. I'll download it on my PlayStation 4. We can play together. Um, because the Switch version does not communicate with the other version. So
Ah, okay. That's
yeah,
a
they
shame.
it used to, and then they took it out for reasons because the two versions are too different, basically.
Mm,
Because again, if what you're saying is true, if Chapter 3 is using Unreal Engine 5, it's not compatible with the Unreal Engine 4 version. I'm assuming.
I have no idea.
I don't know how that works either. So I don't know. So I played that. I played more Animal Crossing, as per
Nice.
usual. It's the holiday season. I want to play some toy days. I want to experience a special day in there as well. Return Smith Earth Day. Um, and I'll just leave it at that. It's been really fun. I've been playing with a lot of people. I've been playing it on. Well, I haven't streamed it recently, but I have streamed it a couple of weeks, a couple of days. So that was fun. And then I played Pokemon. Well, specifically New Pokemon Snap.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And I played it on stream and I beat it on stream.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was very exciting. I got debated once. I thought like, oh, I'm at the end. It's like, no, there's still one more area left and one more Pokemon to take a picture. I'm like,
Oh, happy days.
not this again.
Kind of like
It's
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding all over again. Why are you lying to me? But
Oh,
then I finally got it. I was so happy. I even put it on my Instagram. Like I was so happy when I finally rolled credits.
that's nice.
Uh th- that game, I've said it before when it came out, and I've said it on stream, and I'll say it again. That game is way too pretty for its own right.
I know you're saying that.
It
Yeah.
is way too pretty for a game that is. I think I don't even remember because I have to go back to the Digital Foundry video to see like what resolution it's running on. It is way too pretty. I don't know what magic that Bandai Namco's crew was able to pull off.
Maybe it's because it's on rails.
Well, okay, fine. Yeah, sure. For one, it's on rails, but that still wouldn't excuse how pretty it is.
Mm,
I mean, I've seen other games that are on rails that are not as pretty as this game on Switch.
yeah.
So again, I don't know what kind of magic tricks they pulled out of their hat, but could you like teach it to like the Game Freak team and have games look like really good? That would be really great. I'm still looking forward to Pokemon Legends, of course, Arceus, and they showed like a new trailer for a new Pokemon variant because that's the thing that they do now have variants for specific regions and stuff like that. And they showed off the Voltorb variant. I don't know if you're how like well versed you're into like at least first gen Pokemon.
It's so long ago that yeah.
Well, you have to remember Voltorb because Voltorb is the Pokemon that looks like a Pokeball,
Oh
the
yeah,
red and white one, the round one.
yeah.
Yeah, so they made a variant of that one, and it's now not just electric, it's electric grass type, and
That's
he's now
nice.
made of wood.
Oh, that's nice.
So the instead of the bottom half being white, like
Yeah.
with the regular Pokeballs, it's like wood texture, just like the Pokeballs in like the in Pokemon Legends. So
Mm,
they still made them look like Pokeballs from that era.
Oh, that's nice.
It
Nice
makes
touch.
absolutely no sense for them to look that way at all. They just did it because they knew they could. Oh, that's so. When I saw that, I laughed my butt off. Like I was like on the floor rolling around laughing because
Uh,
it's so stupid. And
yeah.
still, I want it though.
Ah, I can imagine.
So yeah, that's what I've been playing. I have no idea what I'm going to be playing on my stream next. What I do know is that the week that this goes out is Christmas, so you have something to listen to while you're uh, with your family or on your way to your family or
That would
whenever.
be
So you have
something if
time.
people just sat down for Christmas and watched or listened to us. That'd
That
be
would be
something.
very nice. We
Yeah.
would be very grateful for that,
And honored.
um, and very honored. But that's I don't know, man. It's but I'm not going to be streaming a lot over the next couple of weeks because of the holidays. Um, so I don't know what I'm going to be streaming next. I'll definitely do maybe a little of Animal Crossing because it's close to Christmas. I might go back to Secret of Mana because I still have that.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't finished that yet, but I maybe I'll go back to Astroneer actually because now I can actually do that.
Yeah.
Or go back to Kerbal. I mean, I have a lot of options, but I have noticed that whenever I play games on stream, I do tend to finish them. So maybe I'll
Keep on doing
br-
that.
keep on doing that. Maybe I'll break my rule and actually play Persona 5 on stream so I can actually finish it.
Mm,
So I don't know. No, I'm not gonna do that because I want to be able to experience the game and the story as is, and it has a lot of cutscenes.
yeah.
So it would be kind of boring to play through
Sounds
it on
like a
stream, in
Kojima
my
game.
opinion. Not as bad as a Kojima game. No, no, no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Like I heard of someone who played uh played like Metal Gear Solid 4, and there was this cutscene, and the dude just fell asleep during the cutscene.
Yeah, it's the last one. It lasts 90 minutes.
And it's like his oh yeah, it was the last cutscene. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an
So
hour
he
and a
fell
half.
asleep and like his wife woke him up afterwards. It's like, hey, what are you doing? I thought you were playing. This is like, oh yeah, the cutscene's over, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, Metal Gear.
I s- I know I actually did start playing Metal Gear Solid 4 like years ago. I never finished it.
Mm.
I was still at the beginning. I'm
Oh.
so afraid of like returning to that if I should or not. But what I also found out is that I apparently have like the complete edition of MGS5.
Through
I'm
PSN.
like, yeah, apparently I did. I
It
don't even
was free
remember
for
claiming it.
PS Plus, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't even remember claiming it. I was just going through my libraries, like,
Yeah. Oh,
oh,
that's
okay,
good. Yeah. Something to play on stream, perhaps.
yeah. That, gosh darn it, are those cutscenes also long?
Yeah, but you can do like random streams, like one or two.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
fair.
you played Death Stranding.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to play Dress Turning on stream, but then like the cutscenes were like super long. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
But if I do the definitive edition, I think I will do it on stream because then I'll just skip the cutscenes.
that's also an option.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll figure it out during the holidays, and yeah, I'll get back to you on that.
Cool.
So with that, we have come to the end of the episode. So Sean Templar, for the last time this year, this season, will you do us the honors?
I will try not to fail. So, thank you everybody for tuning in to this final episode of this season. It's been a ride, and we appreciate every one of you joining us on this one. We've been able to launch the video form of the podcast this year, which was a big thing for us. Woo!
Yay!
We're still working on improving that, so all your feedback and support is appreciated. Do consider liking and subscribing, as much as I hate asking for it, because I always say, like, do it if you feel like it. But, in this world, you sometimes have to ask for it. Um, the same counts for the podcast. Discoverability and podcasts are terrible. So if you like the content, do consider giving us a 5-star rating and a review. It really helps us out. You can find us on your favorite podcasting platform: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Overcast, Stitcher, you name it, we're probably there. We're on YouTube. We will put the link in the description because there are multiple game rivals, but this is the only one for us.
Hmm.
This is the way. You can reach out through email, gamerivalsfeedback@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at game_rivals_, and you can find Maximilian at Maximilian. And then you can find us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Maximilian_X or /Sean Templar. You can find us on Instagram at Game Rivals and at Maximilian_X. And I believe with that, I have mentioned them all.
Yeah. This week again, no question of the week since it's the end. Actually, you know what? No, we will do a question of the week.
Okay.
What was your game of the year? Let us know in the question in the question segment of the
Spotify.
Spotify question. But also, if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to answer in the comment section.
Yep.
What was your game of 2021?
I still don't know mine.
Neither do
We'll
I.
figure it out.
We'll
On
figure
that
it out.
note, I have been and always will be Sean Templar,
And I've been, and I'll always be Maximilian X.
and we'll catch you on the next one.
Later.